Welcome to the Poetry Slam. Here's how it works. Poets, you have 3 minutes to perform one original poem of your own construction. No props are allowed, no costumes are allowed, no animal acts are allowed. No musical accompaniment other than the music you can create with your own body will be allowed. Each poem will be scored on a scale of 0.0 to 10.0 by our panel of 5 judges who have been selected from the audience. Judges, please consider the content and the performance of the poems. The only really important thing is that you tell us what you think. Poetry Slam is about the idea that everybody has a valid opinion about art, and you don't need some degree or credential to prove it. Be honest, and don't be influenced by the audience or the other judges. Audience, your job here is to try to influence the judges. If you think the poem or the score is great, let us know. If you think the poem or the score sucks, let us know. All right. Enough of my yakking. Let's boogie.
Imagine this. Imagine me and you and everyone you know and everyone you don't know. Imagine us. All stuck in a massive worldwide state of congestion. Imagine you were stuck in a traffic jam. Yes, a traffic jam, a bumper-to-bumper, horn-honky, middle-finger waving kind of traffic jam where people turn off their cars and rest their head in their hands of frustration. Okay, so imagine you were stuck in these awful, frozen circumstances with the person who has just broken your heart. Or it doesn't even need to be recent. Imagine you're sitting next to someone who will eventually break your heart or is in the process of breaking your heart right now. And I'm not just talking lovers here, people. I'm talking about anyone who's ever hurt you in an extraordinary manner. I'm talking the kid who made fun of your headgear in grade 2. I'm talking your father for not ever remembering your birthday. I'm talking the vet who put your first dog down. I am talking heartbreak. And I know this little scenario has a lot of complications. For starters, what if you're prone to heartbreak? What if your heart is a perpetual eggshell that cracks every time someone comes scrambling along? Then your car would be chock full of people like those clown cars at the circus. Or what if you've never had your heart broken? What if you've never felt the aching acid burn of abandonment in your stomach? Then your car would be empty and clean and other people in the traffic jam would resent you. For now though, let's forego the technicalities and say you've had your heart broken. You've had it smashed like porcelain glass, the glistening pieces strewn all over the black tar of unrequited highway love on a hot summer's day. And you're unsure whether you should try and pick up all the bits or if you should just put a new heart on the gift registry at the bay. Okay, you are sitting next to someone who just broke your heart and you have a megaphone and they have to sit in their seat with their seatbelt done up. What would you say? Would you say, look how straight my teeth are, you jerk? Or would you say, hey dad, it's the motherfucking 24th of March? Or would you say, where did you get your vet degree, at the University of Idiot? Because here's what I would say to the person who broke my heart. Prada does not impress me, but when you bought that pair of $400 sunglasses, I told you they look good on you because they did. And because you were in Prada and me shopping at Value Village didn't matter because I loved you. And I would say, if you wanted someone who works at IKEA as an assistant manager, you should have told me because I would have applied. And I would say, if you wanted someone who doesn't challenge your life philosophies or talk to you about why bottled water is a scam, if you wanted simplicity, if you wanted a 9-to-5 relationship, if you wanted someone who sings in tune, if you wanted a bitch that was taller than 5'3", you should have told me. Because you said I was irrational, but my love for you wasn't based in level-headedness. My love for you was based in love. Yes, love. And for that reason only, this world just got a little more original. I would say a broken heart is like a traffic jam, and a traffic jam, well, that's like a broken heart. I'm clogged up and polluted with the inability to move on. I can't drive forward even though I desperately want to. I would say I don't regret being stuck here. But it's time I got out of the car and started walking.
Hey, hey, hey. All right. You guys are still alive on a Thursday night. I'm loving it. Work hasn't bogged you down. Thank you to the standers in the back. Sean McGarrigle and friends, holla. Okay, judges. 3, 2, 1. We have a 10. We have a 9.9. We have a 9.9. We have a 9.4. And we have a 10. Give it up for Crystal, everybody.
As I mentioned in our class the other day, I got to watch my AT teach a unit on poetry. As an outsider, it's easy to criticize. And so I criticized because it was difficult to see what was being taught. My AT even asked me to do an extension off her lesson, which led the children through underlining different verbs, adjectives, and other mechanics of language. It ended badly because it was boring. Now I know the first two videos that I showed focused on slam poetry, and I think this is one great way to get the children excited, or maybe vice versa, throw up nervous. So after reading the Camera article, I found what I think is a classroom-friendly approach for high school students or maybe middle school students. So the teachers in the study required students to read and find as many poems of their own choosing. The students then kept journals throughout the entire unit, regular reflections of their growing understanding and appreciation of the genre for poems they wanted to collect. The teachers then started an online blog where the students shared their poetry online. They required the students to post 2 original poems and then respond to at least 5 poems of other students. The results, they said, were remarkable. There were over 3,000 postings to the site. The students were also asked to choose poems that they would remember and recite in their classrooms. They were asked to give life to the performance. In general, students worked hard on memorization and interpretation, and this assignment made them more comfortable and knowledgeable about the effective performance of poetry. The culminating event of this unit was their first ever senior poetry slam. Children could perform alone or in groups. My resting argument comes from the quote I posted on Blackboard from the Ellis, Geer, and Lamberton article. If one thinks that poetry is inherently oral, and we do, then it follows that this orality ought to shape the ways we teach. Rather than training students to dig up symbols or trace thematic patterns of poetry, we should help them see, hear, and feel what Scholes calls its public powers and experience its private pleasures for themselves.